Hey, it's Nick from Awell, and in this video, I'd like to show you how you can set up your subscriptions or your webhooks in Elation, which you might need in order to get the most of your Elation extension in Awell. So in Elation, there is no UI you can use to create your subscriptions or your webhooks, so we'll have to do that programmatically. So you can actually go to the Elation website, to their documentation, and you'll find that there is a section dedicated to subscriptions. And there you find, or you can find how you can subscribe to a resource update. So Elation has multiple resources like patients and appointments and notes and stuff like that. And for every event that happens with those resources, for example, a resource gets saved or deleted, you're actually able to send out an event to an external system, which in this case would be Awell, and do something with that event in Awell, like, for example, start a care flow. Now, to subscribe to a resource, you can actually go to the documentation to subscribe to the resource, and actually have set this up as already in my Postman account. So what you'll have to do is use some kind of interface to make your API calls. In this instance, I'm actually using Postman. I have set up my authorization and stuff like that. So that's something you can actually find on the Elation website. I won't go really deeper into that. But basically what you'll have to do is you'll have to specify what resource you're interested in. So let's say I am interested in the appointments resource. And by the way, you can find on the Elation website all of their resources, right? So these are all of the resources and how they are named. So that's probably useful as well. But let's say I'm interested in patients, right? So I'm going to assume here somewhere in this list we have the patients resource, and that's correct. And then I need to specify a target. And basically the target is the URL where we want to send the data to when an update occurs to that resource. Now that URL you can get from the Awell platform. So I already have set my webhook up, and here actually there is a URL generated, which I will use and put it here in the target. And then I'll just have to run query, and you'll see that there is a subscription created in Elation. Now, what I can do is, just to make sure, I can actually also fetch all of the subscriptions, right? You can have many subscriptions in your Elation instance. So if you'd like to have an overview of all of them, you can actually list them, and you'll see also here that our subscription that we just created is in this list, which is perfect. One important concept I think is also worth mentioning, or important mentioning, is that Elation has a concept which is called prevent echo. So as a user, you are authenticating against Elation's API to create a subscription, right? So your credentials are affiliated to a certain user, in this case to my user, so Nick's user. So if I create that subscription with credentials affiliated or associated to my user, and I use that same user to update, for example, a patient resource, then actually that subscription will not trigger any event. So you can actually read more about that on Elation's documentation. So that's worth mentioning. So if you're wondering why subscriptions or events are not being sent to external platform, that's always a good place to start. You might, actually triggering the event with the same user you have created the subscription with, and that doesn't work in Elation. So I think that's it. Thanks.